So, now that the Indigo Discs for Scarlet and Violet are finally out, which I totally played, that means we can finally start looking towards the future. Look, I wanted to make this video for a while now, but I wanted to wait until the last DLC was out in case some shit I wanted in the next game got put into the DLC. I want to talk about Generation 10. Now, let's be real with ourselves here, it's gonna be a while before we get Generation 10. We still have to get the Black and White remakes and possibly a Pokemon Legends Kyurem. But still, Generation 10 is something I've been thinking about a lot lately, purely because I've seen a lot of progress when it comes to the Pokemon games. At first, as you know, I didn't really like Scarlet and Violet, and to an extent, I still think it's kinda okay. It's not my go-to Pokemon game, and I totally understand if it's your go-to Pokemon game, because honestly, the only thing that was wrong with the game was the way it was released. You know, the buggy state, the graphics, that's it. The core gameplay is still good, but there is always room for improvement. So in this video, I want to talk about what my hopes and my expectations for Generation 10 are, because let's be honest with ourselves here. Pokemon games are releasing in a very short amount of time lately, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Generation 10 in the next 5 years maybe, but we'll just have to wait to see for that, man. But with all being said and done, let's get into it, shall we? First up, I want to talk about, okay, you know what, I'm gonna speed through this one because it's very obvious. Better graphics, better performance, better frame rate, all that kind of shit, because like I said before, the main gameplay of Scarlet and Violet is alright, it's purely the graphics that are bad. Got it? Okay, next up, the Gimmick. First off, I want to talk about the Gimmick, because I actually don't want one. I know having a gimmick in Pokemon games is kind of a must-have nowadays, ever since Mega Evolution and Pokemon X and Y, and I kind of understand why. It keeps the gameplay a little bit fresh. I've been playing a lot of the older games lately, and I just kind of enjoy the simplicity of it, to be honest. But I want to say get rid entirely of gimmicks. The one gimmick I really want to see return is the one from Pokemon Legends Arceus, and that is with the whole speed move against power move. I don't know what it was called specifically, I'll probably put it on screen. Honestly, that was the most engaged I've felt with a Pokemon combat in a long time, more so than any other wristband gameplay gimmick they had in the previous games. But like I said before, I'm also okay with just not having a gimmick this time around, because why not just have good old classic Pokemon battles, you know what I mean? Although, one final thing I have to say, one thing I was thinking about is, this is gonna be Generation 10, you know, like the big milestone, the big 10. So, what I was thinking is, why not just bring back every gimmick? Fuck it, just say fuck it, just bring back Mega Evolution, Z moves, Dynamax, Terrestrializing. The whole gang is here, why the fuck not, you know? If you're gonna celebrate it, why not do it the good way, you know what I mean? Speaking of the milestone, let's go to my second point, and that is kind of the feeling of celebration. And what I mean by that is, we're reaching Generation 10. Do you realize that? We're entering the double digits, you know what I mean? It's kinda insane, to be honest with you. But one thing I want from Generation 10 is to have it feel like some big milestone, you know? I wouldn't say an anniversary, because it's not an anniversary game. Pokemon doesn't even do anniversary games anyway. But that's what I want. Story-wise, gameplay-wise, how they would do it, that's their decision to make. Personally, I can't come up with anything at the moment, but I'll probably make a video about that later on. But I hope you know what I mean, because yes, Pokemon games are always grand when it comes to the boss battles and the music, but I want this one to go even bigger. Like, I don't know, just celebrate everything Pokemon, all the regions, trainers. Do just one big Avengers Endgame type game. I don't know how they're gonna do that, considering your Pokemon game still needs the token to Legendaries, so I don't know how they're gonna do that, but we'll just have to wait and see for that, man. Next up, I want to talk about Traversal, and that is because Pokemon Scarlet and Violet honestly ruined Traversal for me, and it's very simple because it's worse than Legends Arceus. For those who play Legends Arceus, you probably know that Legends Arceus' movement is great. You can dodge, you can catch Pokemon without going into battle. There's just something about Pokemon Legends Arceus' Traversal that's way more enjoyable than Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's Traversal, and that's honestly because you always have the Legendary with you, I think. I don't know, man. Just, I would say, switch Koraidon or Miraidon with the bicycle, and then, I don't know, for climbing, just give us tools or something, you know what I mean? Honestly, it's very simple. Just bring back everything from Legends Arceus with a new coat of paint. That's it. That's all I really want, to be honest with you, because it was way more enjoyable than how Pokemon Scarlet and Violet did it. This is gonna be the final thing I'm gonna talk about for today. This is probably gonna be a hot take because a lot of people love Koraidon and Miraidon, but bring Legendaries back. And I know we have Legendaries like Terapagos and Ogerpon, and I wouldn't really call Koraidon and Miraidon Legendaries because they're just Paradox Pokemon. What I want is Legendaries, real Legendaries, something in the same way as, let's say, Hoenn, you know, Legendaries with rolls. I kind of miss that. There's this sense of, this kind of divine feeling the Legendaries had back in the day. It's just kind of gone now, you know what I mean? Every Legendary had a role, you know, you had space and time, you had land and sea and sky, you had death and life. That's kind of lost now, but nowadays we have shit like he's from the future and he's from the past. What I'm trying to say is, bring back Legendaries with a task, you know, a reason they were created, a role they have in the world. That's something Legendaries are missing nowadays. Also, bring Toby Fox back, please, thank you. So yeah, man, that's all I really have to say for what I want from the next Pokemon game.
Hey, wait a minute.
Okay, so I was editing the video and I completely forgot to talk about the fact that I want voice acting in the next game. This is actually one of my biggest requests, so I have no idea how the fuck I forgot to talk about it, but yeah. Back to the video, I guess. Like I said before, it's still gonna be a while away, and Black and White remakes are still coming, especially with all the teasing they've been doing in Blueberry Academy, or whatever the fuck it was called. We know Pokemon games haven't been the best lately, and even the DLC is not performing that good when it comes to, you know, graphics and shit, but I don't know, man. I think they've learned their lesson from Scarlet and Violet. I mean, the fact that Scarlet and Violet are the only games on Switch that were allowed to be refunded on eShop. So yeah, man, I think the next Pokemon games are gonna be something good. And if they're not gonna be something good, then I'm gonna look like a total fucking idiot, but we'll get to that when we'll get to that. But yeah, man, let me know your thoughts in the comments about what you want from Pokemon in the future, what you're expecting from Gen 10. And with all being said and done, thank you all for watching. Have a great day or night, and as usual, I'll see you all on the other side.